Hey travelers! On Tuesday we shared our list of the 10 things that we miss most about America. So if you missed that video, we will put a link down below and above. So make sure to click the I and watch that. But we decided, why not make a list of things that we don't miss about America? Ooh, edgy.
These are obviously things from our own opinion.
Of
you
course.
may not agree with them, especially if you live overseas.
Right.
And we're staying away from politics. We're not going to talk about anything like that. Just things that affect kind of our daily life that we think that Japan either does better, or that since we don't have, because we don't live in America, we don't miss.
These are 5 things that we do not miss about America. Let's get started.
Number 1.
Owning a car. So in our last video we kind of talked about how not owning a car has affected us negatively here in Japan. But in America, I didn't necessarily always love having a car. I didn't like having to pay for gas, and I didn't like having to pay for insurance. And honestly, I didn't really always like driving, especially in the snow and the ice in Pennsylvania.
And car maintenance,
Yeah,
oil
car
changes,
Yeah.
and all that comes with it. There are a lot of pros, don't get me wrong. But not owning a car for these last 16 months have been kind of nice. Public transportation in Japan is good enough, especially where we live, that we can get by without one, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Number 2.
American customer service. When I say American customer service, I am thinking in particular of like a fast food or the restaurant business.
Yes.
When you go to a restaurant in America, as has happened probably to you, happened to us multiple times. In fast food, it happens even more so. Just you get waiters and waitresses or someone taking your order at the cashier or whatever that are just rude or just completely disconnected, that are like off daydreaming about something else. And so the customer service that you get is really lacking. In Japan, the customer service is always top-notch, always with a smile. The people here really go out of their way to take care of you. I can think of maybe 1 or 2 times where it was like, oh wow, that was kind of strange. The person may have been having a bad day or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100,
Yeah.
the customer service in Japan is above and beyond. And if you've watched any other video about Japan, I'm sure you've always heard that to be the case. They're just overly, sometimes even overly polite sometimes. It's just always to the highest. So that is really nice. And so when you think about America, it's going to be like, oh man, when we go back,
It's going to be
how much drastically different it's going to be. So we don't necessarily miss that. Number 3.
Cleanliness. When we were compiling this list, what came to mind when I'm talking about cleanliness is basically transportation. When I think about, taking the subway in New York City compared to taking the subway or the Shinkansen system in Tokyo, it is drastically different. Even just like taking a local train in Japan. I mean, some of them might be older, but they're always clean. You never have to worry about stepping in some like foreign substance. Even when you're out walking in the streets, I mean, they're always so clean. It's kind of weird because they don't have like public trash cans out, and you would think that that would cause more littering and more trash to be just out on the streets, but I never see like people just like throwing papers. I mean, every once in a while you might see like a wrapper or an empty bottle or something, but in general, cities are always so clean here.
I think the Japanese citizen in general just has a greater appreciation for cleanliness, especially in their the way that they recycle and how they just divide things up.
I just think they're more mindful of keeping their space in their country clean. Number 4.
School lunches. When I think of American lunch food, pizza, burgers, chicken nuggets, which a lot of people would say, oh, it's a dream, mac and cheese every day. And when I described my school lunches in America to some of my students, they're like, oh, I wish I could have that. In Japan, the food variety, it changes fairly regularly. I mean, some of it's kind of systematic, but it's very healthy. You get a soup, you get a rice, you get protein, you get milk, and a little bit of a salad. So that is kind of the main substance, and then it kind of changes. But for the most part, it's healthy. It's not the most flavorful. It's not the best food. I'm not going to say that it's like amazing food. Some days are better than others. Some days aren't very good at all. but I'm talking about the healthiness of the food and how well balanced it is. I don't miss American school lunches. I don't envy the average American public school lunch compared to what I'm getting here.
Even working in the kindergarten, sometimes I'll go and eat lunch with the kids, and of course I bring my own food, but they are always eating healthy. They always have some sort of vegetable, of course rice, because they eat rice with every meal, fish. I mean, you see these little kids, 4 and 5-year-olds, they're not picky, and they eat what they're given, and it's always healthy.
There's no choice in what you get for school lunches. It is what it is. You can't like say I want to have pizza or burgers. You don't get to like, it's not like a lunch line. The kids prepare their own meals, and they have to kind of eat what they're given, and 9 times out of 10 the kids will eat everything. If they don't want it, then they'll go back to where they got the food and they'll put it back so some other kid can eat it. So like food waste is like not really a thing.
No.
At least at my school. I can't speak for every school in Japan, but in my school the kids are really conscious of their lunches and do a really good job. This brings us to number 5. Tipping.
This I love about Japan and basically Asia in general. You do not have to tip here. You don't. It's not required. It's not a thing. It's not expected of you. You go in, you see what price you're going to pay for the meal that you choose, and that is what you pay.
In Japan, they typically include tax with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Or will show it on the label, so you're paying. Or not the label, but like on the menu, it'll include the tax a lot of times. What you see is what you pay. So there's no tipping for taxis or for
restaurants,
for eating out.
Yeah,
so.
and that brings us back to our point about customer service, because even though we don't tip and we're not giving extra to the person serving us, you still get amazing service.
Yeah.
We do not miss tipping at all.
No.
Sorry to those who work in food service. So that concludes our list of the 5 things that we do not miss about America. If you agree or disagree with this list, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree though, still give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit subscribe, because we put out new videos every Tuesday and
Friday.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.